What a great chocolate cake this is. This is from Aldi, £1.60 for a whole cake. And it's the most chocolatey thing. You get these, go to restaurants that give you death by chocolate. And this is what it is, it's as good as that. It's like chocolate mud. I did say I was going to do the shunt and connect that object, but I cannot do this because to do it I have to disconnect the battery and I have no light to see by. There's always a problem with you work on the solar power area. So it's necessary to wait with the shunt. Well, maybe I won't do anything tonight. There's a lot of water around the boat here. And it makes you a bit more receptive. It makes you not want to do stuff. You want to sit back and listen to what you're thinking. So it's also very difficult to make these videos, as you can see. I'm not very animated. And so we're struggling against the water that's all about us. And so perhaps I've done enough for one day. And maybe I'll just plan a few things, think about what I'm going to be doing next. And perhaps make myself a cup of chocolate. To wash down this rather good chocolate mud. Well, I have actually done it, but I've wired it all up apart from connecting the two wires into the system here, because I don't really want to do it. I have to turn the lights off to do it and use a torch, and this is, you know, not a nice thing to do. So I'll wait until the morning and I'll put a cover over the solar panel, and then I can disconnect the solar power, turn all the batteries off, and then wire it up and test it to see if it works, and find out whether I've got it upside down or the right way round, because there's nothing that tells you which way around it is until you turn it on. Well, it's been a bit of a mission. All morning I've been working on this battery analyzer, and now it's all installed and working. But when I first put it in, it wasn't reading, it was only reading partially the wattage, and some of the systems, they had separate earths, and so I had to rewire the whole boat really so that it was all connected to the same earth. And I've actually wired it so that it runs off the solar panel controller, the earth on there. So you'll see over there that minus, where it says load, minus, plus and minus, it's running off there, and everything is wired into that load now, which is good. It wasn't before. We just wired back to the earth and the battery. So it needs to be all going to the same earth for it to work. And I'm going to turn on the main cabin light now. You can see the main cabin light, the old one that was installed. I don't even know what it is, but you'll see it's now using 20, should be saying 20 watts or something. 19.6 watts it's saying. Okay, which is quite a lot, yeah. And so I'm going to turn it off and I'll put on this side here. This is the Ogs here with all that stuff running. The depth sounder's running, chugging away, and the light is on there. You can see it's reading 12.9 volts there. And if we have a look here, what do we see? We see 5 watts. We're using 5 watts. What a difference that is. And that light is perfectly adequate to be in here. But it's really, really nice with both of those new lights on. And that's using about 8 or 9 watts really. So it tells me everything, and it also tells me how much my masthead and the navigation lights are using, about 40 watts here. We'll show you. So if we turn it off, we put on the masthead light. 45.5 watts. That's going to chew through the battery really quickly. And then if I turn that off and put the nav lights on, that's 44, same. So if you're using all of that lot, my goodness, you can see why my battery went flat. It's just a matter of not using it, I suppose. I've tidied up in here now. It's been a mess all day, and you can see there's the new painted. It's quite good. It's not slippery. It's all done now. So we're getting some progress here, and yeah, still haven't done that side because I'm probably going to put something over there for mobile phones and stuff, so I want to be able to finish drilling holes before I do that, because you can't drill holes. You see what happened here and here when I drilled these holes. So, and this window has to come out. I may yet do it today still. Just have to watch and see. It's very important to get this done. Stop the leak. Well, the window's all sealed, taken out and put in, and also we've got rounded corners on this thing, and now the ends of those poles can't fall out. So this thing's evolving slowly over time, and it'll be perfect in the end. We just wait and see how it turns out. Well, it's time for coffee. Well, you'll see the battery symbol in the middle. It shows all these, I think it's 10 gradations of how charged the battery is, and it was reading fully charged before when it wasn't fully charged. And the reason for this is the unit is set up to 20 volts, and it's necessary to set the full charge voltage and the fully discharged voltage on the unit. It's not intuitive how to do this. There's only one button that you use to do it. And so I set it to 12.7 volts fully charged and 12.1 volts empty. Now 12.1 volts is 40% charge, and I don't want it to go below that level because it can damage the battery if you do. And so what I've done is I've set it to 12.1. So now you can see it's registering about more than 3/4 full, and so that's quite good, and it should give a more accurate display than this one over here, which is also reading about the same, except the camera can't focus and such like that. I have one other thing. The other thing which bothers me is having to, you put things in places where there's nothing to stop them being thrown out onto the floor, and where the camera is now is a big hole, and I've been organising that area, and you can see I found this piece of wood. I think it's actually a baby seat or something. I don't know what it is, maybe a baby sat in it. But what I've done is I've marked it out. I don't know if you can see that. I've marked it out so that what I'm going to cut and I'm going to cut this out and put hinges on it so it can close the hole there, hinge out, and be a small table for putting food on when we're preparing food. It gives a little bit more extension of the galley and closes up so that it's not dangerous at sea. We can close it up and everything can stay in its place. So that's the project, and I found out that by working the stuff out here and doing it in Bromyard, that's a much better idea, because it's very, very cold in here at night, although it's possible to sleep here. I've got 2 sleeping bags, one side the other now, and it was my second night last night, and I was reasonably warm last night. The first night I was cold. And so just getting on top of some of these things, and each little thing is a project in itself and takes time and requires that I get the tools that I need and so on. And also you can make mistakes. For example, I was going to close this, you see this piece in, I've marked this where I'm cutting out. It is possible to close the whole hole in because there's actually a little step in it here, but this piece has to come out, because if I made it curved like this, when you opened it, it would foul what's sticking out here. And so I was going to fill it in, but then I realized that if I fill it in, then I can't get access to my control panel where my battery analyzer is going to be. And so I think I'm just going to cut this out and leave this open here so that I can plug things in and then put the camera and or the phone or what behind it here, and the cables can come out here. And so it's not bad to have a hole, it's good to have a hole really. And so that's basically the thinking behind that. It's really good not to rush into things and to think them through fully and wait until the hands move, because when the hands move then the brain has ripened it all and it's all ready to carry on.